a sample by the lead song, I Need Come On. Exactly. It comes out and ends up being a monster. Yeah. This was your biggest song at that point? Yeah. Did you know how big it was going to be? No. I mean, I thought it would be pretty within the core reggae market. And I'd been on the Labor Day parade in Brooklyn. Yeah. Yeah, I've been on that a couple of times before, so I working on the song, I could hear it playing in Brooklyn. So I thought it would hit Brooklyn hard too, you know what I mean? But to say that if I knew it would be that successful, no. Yeah. But I mean, we hope, as with every song that we put out, that it would be huge. As big as that song got, there was a little bit of a pushback because certain people felt like it showed Jamaica in somewhat of a bad light. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that? Well, I mean, tourism is a big part of our economy in Jamaica. So, of course, to the globe, to the international marketplace, they would like to really expose, the part of Jamaica that you can come and enjoy, So you might have some people who think it might be a disservice in terms of trying to show the ugly side. But I don't think it really shied any tourists away from Jamaica in the long run, really. Well, I've been to Jamaica a few times. I actually used to DJ for Brian Levy at one point. Yeah, a while back. And the thing about Jamaica that I think most Americans don't realize is that, you go to the resorts, it's nice, and it's modern and so forth. But you leave the resorts and you go to certain areas, there's a level of poverty that I don't think Americans have ever seen. Yes, it's a third world. It's a little bit different than here, yeah. Like, poor in America means you're living in the projects, you still have a TV, you've got running water, you've got hot water, you've got a toilet. A poor person living in the outskirts of Jamaica is living in a hut with just metal siding, with foam, right, that they use for a bed. Yeah. Is this something that you think will actually change? Has changed over time, or? Yeah, I think it's improving. I do. Obviously, it's not where we want it to be as yet, definitely. But I think there's improvement. Yeah. You know what I mean? The world is becoming it's becoming a global place in that kind of way where, especially with like the internet and social media and these things, is opening a lot of people's minds and therefore opening opportunities too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, so there is improvement, yes. Welcome to Jamrock ends up winning 2 Grammys. Mm-hmm. Best Reggae Album again, and Best Urban Alternative Performance. Yeah. Which I think you're the first reggae artist to actually do that? Yeah, to win 2 in one night. 2 in one night? Yeah. Bob wasn't winning multiple Grammys? No, remember, they didn't have a reggae Grammy in his time. So, he had some lifetime achievement, awards and such forth, but no. Okay. Was Shaba winning Grammys? Shaba has 2 back-to-back. Back-to-back? Yeah. Okay, but you won 2 in one night. How did that feel? Great. Great. That feel good, man. And that feel like I've done something a bit bigger than just my career, like you said, something on behalf of the genre then. You know what I mean? Because that's a new frontier for the genre and for my country. Yeah. Yeah. And you're really elevating the genre as a whole because, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the reggae artists, they jump on rhythms, right? Whoever the hot producer is at the time, they'll come out with a beat, 20 artists will jump on it. If Beanie Man has the hottest song, that becomes the big song and so forth. But you never really did that. Or not too much, no. Was there a reason for it? Well, kind of again, just my environment, having, Steve as my producer when I was doing my first albums and still produces tracks for me up to now. Just I guess the culture of how my family was moving at the time, melody makers would always have a very high level of production in that kind of case and produce a lot of their own music. So we did a lot of our production in-house in that kind of way, as opposed to looking for outside producers. And I think at the time, to Steve, they really wanted to try to put together some music that would have some form of crossover potential. You know what I mean? So it kind of had funk to it, and you know what I mean. Even on my first album, we did a lot of my father's hooks because we're very early in the stage of developing myself as a writer and such forth on my first record, and we just kind of came up in that culture, and it has worked for us, and we kind of expected to present our music that way.
Was there a certain level of competitiveness though that where you wanted to do that? You know what I mean? Because when you heard a beat and it's like, oh, I could jump on that and just kill it. Right?
At first, when I was doing the first album, I wanted to have a bit more of that kind of dancehall flavor, at the time. But and then over the years now, we still experiment with it every now and then, because I've been on a few jugglings over the years, but it's not really how I do my music in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Clearly, it's been working well for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, on Welcome to Jamrock, Nas gets on Road to Zion.
Yeah.
What led up to that right there?
Really, just being a fan of his music and thinking that his voice would suit the track. When most of the collaborations that we've done over the years, it is really the music kind of dictate who we invite to be a part of the track.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the song was done, and you thought, okay, maybe Nas could jump on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you called up Nas and said, hey, Nas doesn't do very many guest appearances.
Yeah.
So you called him up, and how did that conversation go?
Well, I didn't speak to him until he actually got to the studio in Miami. So he came to our family studio in Miami, and he said, one of the first things he said to me, hey, they talking about you in New York, man. And big me up and thing. But I mean, that day he just came through for a few hours. He did his verse, recorded down his verse and thing, and we loved it. And it was just kind of, like I said, just a few hours, and he did his thing.
Okay. So did that ultimately lead to distant relatives?
Kind of. In a certain aspect, we had spoken after, when by the time Road to Zion had come out, because we came together and we did the video again. So there was another opportunity to link up with him and thing. And we had been discussing at one point to perhaps do a bit of touring together, right? Then what really happened now with distant relatives now is that we had a few songs that did not make the Jamrock album. One of which was a song based upon Africa, it was a song about Africa.
Okay.
And so my management team, my manager came up with the idea of perhaps approaching us to do an EP together about Africa. So it was supposed to be like 3-4 songs based on Africa. And once we got in the studio and started working, both of us decided that we'd love to make it a full-length album.
Okay. Who came up with the name?
Me.
Okay. Yeah. And what was the idea behind the name?
Well, I like names like that. I like names that kind of have a deeper meaning than just, the face value. And trying to find something that would be representative of what we're doing, being that the hip hop and reggae are related,
right?
And being that we're talking about Africa and the ancestry of all people and being related,
Right, because the first hip hop DJ was Kool Herc, who was Jamaican, who took the sound culture, the DJ culture, like they were doing it in Jamaica, the sound system culture,
right,
and started doing it in the Bronx.
Yes.
But instead of doing reggae songs and ska songs, they're doing American music.
Right.
And then from there, it started evolving into the breakbeat culture, which ultimately became hip hop.
Right.
So now, you guys are doing a project together for two genres of music that are intimately related.
Yeah.
And, on that album, As We Enter, I think was one of the greatest hip-hop reggae collaborations I've ever heard.
Thank you.
that right there, because you see like the standard way that hip-hop and reggae have sort of mixed, where it's like, okay, there's a rapper, and then there's a reggae guy that does the hook, and then it just goes back to the rap again.
Right.
But you guys are bouncing verse for verse off each other.
Yeah.
How did that particular song come together?
That particular one was it was a fun night working on that song, because basically we didn't write down Naz is a man where he writes a lot, you know what I mean? Where meanwhile I will more use the computer as my pad. So instead of writing down a lyric, I'll just go in the booth and say it. And if it doesn't work, then I'll edit it out or scratch it out, or you know what I mean? But that night, we're sun is jumping, got you from wall to wall. Me and my two joint buddy, and I never fall. Two joint one. I'm a victim of circumstance. Oh yes I am. I'm going out tonight. Gonna find myself a two joint man. Yes I am. Two joint woman, looking for a two joint man. Two joint woman, looking for a two joint man. Know that man, I can tell him by the way he there he is. There he is, right there. That's my baby daddy right there. You see him? That's my baby daddy. You owe me some child support, huh? You better come on home. Oh, yeah. Yeah! What kind of party we having up in here tonight? What are we having in here tonight? Is this a blues party or what? I'm gonna call out some of my friends right now. Come on. This is his sound here. This is sound here. I'm on man mix. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Big Mike with a 5-0 crew. Right here, Mike. Come on. Say what? That's a thing. Yeah. Yeah, time. Get on down, Calvino. Get on there, baby. Also, we got one man down there over there. Good to see you. Hey, what's your name, baby? Hello, Shannon. What's your name, girl? Sweet, my name